speaking at the Johns Hopkins School of Advanced International Studies, the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken talked about the dynamism of the U.S.-India strategic partnership, citing collaborative efforts in various fields. Blinken said, and I quote, "The U.S.-India strategic partnership has never been more dynamic as we team up on everything from advanced semiconductors to defense cooperation." In his remarks on power and purpose of American diplomacy in a new era, Blinken said the Biden administration has elevated the Quad partnership with India, Japan and Australia to deliver for the countries and the world on everything from manufacturing vaccines to strengthening maritime security and addressing climate challenges. He went on to say, and just this past week at the G20, President Biden and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced another ambitious transportation, energy and technology corridor that will connect the ports of Asia, the Middle East and Europe. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, France, Germany, Italy and the European Union will team up with the US and India to turbocharge clean energy production and digital connectivity and strengthen critical supply chains across the region. The new economic corridor marks a significant step in reshaping regional connectivity and trade dynamics with an emphasis on sustainability and shared benefits. During their high-level meeting ahead of the G20 summit in New Delhi, Prime Minister Modi and President Biden reaffirmed their commitment to advancing shared goals. They highlighted the importance of the India-U.S. major defense partnership that includes expanding cooperation in emerging domains and like space and artificial intelligence. Let's listen in to what Antony Blinken said.
We're renewing and deepening our alliances and partnerships and forging new ones. Go back just a few years, and some were openly questioning the capabilities and relevance of NATO and America's own commitment to it. Today, the alliance is bigger, stronger, more united than ever. We've added an incredibly capable new member in Finland. Sweden will join soon, and NATO's doors remain open. We've enhanced our deterrence and defense, including adding 4 new multinational battalions to NATO's eastern flank and increasing defense investments to address emerging challenges from cyber attacks to climate change. We're transforming the G7 into the steering committee for the world's most advanced democracies, combining our political and economic muscle to not only address the issues affecting our people, but also to offer countries outside the G7 better ways to deliver for their people. We've raised the level of ambition in our relationship with the European Union. Together, we account for 40% of the global economy. We're using that power to shape our technological and economic future to reflect our shared democratic values. We're taking critical bilateral relationships to a new level. Our decades-long alliance with Japan is stronger and more consequential than ever, reaching new frontiers from space to quantum computing. We signed the Washington Declaration with the Republic of Korea, bolstering our cooperation to deter threats from North Korea, and the Jerusalem Declaration with Israel, reaffirming our commitment to Israel's security and to using all elements of U.S. power to ensure that Iran never acquires a nuclear weapon. We agreed to new basing and posture arrangements with allies Australia and the Philippines. The U.S.-India strategic partnership has never been more dynamic as we team up on everything from advanced semiconductors to defense cooperation. And just a few days ago, in Hanoi, President Biden cemented a new comprehensive strategic partnership with Vietnam.
All right. Well, let's now go across to Ramakrishna Sridharan, consulting editor with News9, who joins us live from Washington, D.C. As always, Shri, great to have you on Global Lens.
Thank you, Neha. Thank you very much for that.
Okay, let's discuss what Antony Blinken said there. The sum and substance of his remarks is essentially this: the US-India strategic partnership has never been more dynamic as we team up on everything from advanced semiconductors to defense cooperation. It would be hard to quarrel with him on this one.
Absolutely. I think Mr. Blinken is stating facts as they are, because the way the defense industrial complexes of the two countries are coming together, Neha, it is truly unprecedented. And the point to be noted is that India is now getting the best of technology, the most sophisticated technology, at terms which India feels most comfortable with. For example, we are not just talking about, getting a fish. We're talking about India learning how to fish. So the knowledge transfer and the homologation that comes with all these technologies is perhaps the most important aspect, and something which had so far been a stumbling block in transfer of high tech to India. So if US has started making these concessions, it's obviously because it realizes that there's a strategic purpose that India also serves on the global stage, especially as a counterbalance to China, which increasingly is not just intractable, but also more and more belligerent in its foreign policy. So this is definitely a very significant mark, and the fact that at the sidelight of G20, Biden and Prime Minister Modi announced the India, Middle East, and Europe corridor, where US is a very a strong partner. This is a shift which is happening to a much higher orbit than what India and the US had engaged in earlier, given all the historical reasons, the fact that we were closer to Russia, USSR, partly because of US, because it refused to give us arms and ammunition at that time when India didn't have a defense industrial complex of its own. So I think this is now coming together of two, the world's most powerful democracy and the world's biggest democracy coming together to create a more stable world order, where a country like China, which is dictatorial, is hegemonistic, is now will be cut to size, and therefore that a new world order can prevail, which is far more stable, and there's fairness in the global ecosystem.
Absolutely. Not only is the India-US strategic partnership stronger than ever before, Antony Blinken significantly also referred to the Quad, something that has irked China a great deal in recent times.